There's a big decision coming for Boston, and right now I think the answer is surprisingly clear. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. Well, we've been focusing on the battles of second base because of the caliber of prospects fighting for that spot and the role of closer because of how vital it is for the Red Sox this season. There's a third battle taking place right now. The Red Sox need to find two arms to fill out the back of their rotation, and right now there's four options. Now, we haven't gotten a ton in terms of actual physical reporting as to where the Red Sox may stand with this, but we did get some actions yesterday that could point to where the Red Sox may stand. Basically, what we're talking about here is the Red Sox needing two spots in the back of their rotation. Giolito's going to be on the IL to start the season. We know this. The good news is we do have a positive update. Yesterday, he was seen in the backfields playing long toss with Walker Buehler. That's not something you do if you're going to be down for a very long period of time. And also, Brayan Bello, right? We've known about Brayan Bello for a while now. Again, another good news with him is that he told reporters recently that his plan is to come back in the first week of April. He doesn't feel like he's going to be out for a very long period of time. Alex Cora even saying that, hey, he's not really feeling any pain anymore. He's ramping up normally. He's pitching 4 or 5 innings right now. He looks really good. Basically, they're just going to need some people to cover the first couple of weeks of the season. So where do things stand with that? Good thing I can kind of tell you exactly where things stand, can I? The Red Sox have 4 options for that last 2 spots in the rotation. They've got Quinn Priester, Richard Fitts, Cooper Criswell, and Sean Newcomb. Now, again, there hasn't been any confirmation as to official decisions just yet. In fact, Alex Cora told reporters that that decision's coming up really soon. His latest report is that he expects the decision to take place before the team heads to Mexico. This Mexico exhibition series begins on Monday. So they've got basically till Sunday or Monday morning to figure out where this rotation stands. Now, there's one guy that I think we could pretty much rule out of this competition, and that is Cooper Criswell. Alex Cora saying that he has been a bit under the weather lately, which puts him a bit behind other candidates. This spring also wasn't the greatest spring training for Cooper Criswell. He didn't have an incredibly fantastic start to spring training. He only made it into 3 games so far, just one of them as a starter. The walks and strikeout rate look really good, but he is giving up some pretty hard contact, and he allowed a pretty decent amount of runs to score. Personally, I think he was kind of destined to end up being Red Sox depth in the minor league system, or at the kind of the maximum here, a long reliever in the bullpen. Although I will say, he was really good as a starter for the Red Sox last year, like actually really solid. He wasn't as good in the bullpen, so that's kind of an interesting thing here with Cooper Criswell, but I think the illness pretty easily rules him out for this rotation. I think the Red Sox are going to be pretty cautious, especially with the fact that they have 4 potential candidates for this and not just 2, right? If it was just Cooper Criswell, I'd say maybe it's a different story, but I think the Red Sox have the ability to say, okay, he's not 100%, let's go with someone who is 100%. I don't know where things are going to end up with Criswell. I don't know if he's going to end up in the bullpen or in AAA to start the year. My gut is telling me AAA, but it doesn't sound like the answer is going to be in the Red Sox rotation. However, there is one guy that I think you can absolutely pencil into this rotation to start the year, and that is Richard Fitts. His last outing wasn't particularly incredible. It was 4 earned in 4 innings, only 2 strikeouts and 2 walks, but outside of that, he's looked excellent this spring. Velocity is up on almost every single one of his pitches. Swing and miss is up, 13 Ks in 10 2/3 innings, and his walks are still low. Those are sort of the highlights of Richard Fitts' spring training so far. Those are exactly the things the Red Sox wanted him to work on this offseason. So the fact that he came into camp and said, hey, you know, the fact that I didn't really miss a ton of bats at the major league level, and the fact that I wasn't really up to my full potential velocity-wise, yeah, I took care of those over the offseason. I'm a brand new pitcher. And that's exactly what he did, and it's really, really impressive. I think it would be absolutely ridiculous to not have Richard Fitts in this rotation. Now, the latest we've heard from Alex Cora is after Richard Fitts' latest start, the one that didn't go super well, he was asked straight up, are you ready to name Richard Fitts as your number 4 starter? His answer was simple. It was just no. And I don't really understand why. Maybe it's to sort of breed this competition and really see if they can get the best out of these guys before the season ends and the real season begins. that could be a possibility. But if Richard Fitts isn't in your opening day rotation, I honestly don't know your reasoning behind it, right? The only thing I could think of is Richard Fitts gets one more start and the wheels just completely fall off, or he gets injured, right? Outside of those two things, everything Richard Fitts has done outside of one singular start has been absolutely incredible. I think he's done everything he needs to do to earn this spot in this rotation. If we're talking about shoo-ins, I think the answer is absolutely Richard Fitts, which basically leaves one rotation spot for two different players. The last two names fighting for that starting spot are Quinn Priester and Sean Newcomb. Now, I gotta be the first to admit here that at least so far, I was completely off on who Sean Newcomb could potentially be. When he signed with the Red Sox, my answer to it was, okay, this is a break glass in case of emergency type signing. A guy that if you don't see in Major League Baseball at all this year, things went really, really well. And even when he started to do well in spring training, people would ask, hey, Corbin, is Sean Newcomb a legitimate threat to make this rotation with those injuries? I would say no, because I still thought in my head that this was a guy who was a break glass in case of emergency player. He's proven me completely wrong. Sean Newcomb has found an opportunity this spring to really make a name for himself, and that's exactly what he's doing, and last night may have absolutely solidified that. Both Quinn Priester and Sean Newcomb made starts yesterday. Sean Newcomb with the Major League team against the Twins, and Priester with the minor league team back in Fort Myers against the Tampa Bay Rays. Newcomb continued to look really impressive. Not a ton of swing and miss, which is a little bit different than what he'd been doing early on this spring. It was only 2 swing and misses in the entire 4 2/3 outings. He did still get 3 strikeouts though. One of them ended up being looking. He held most of the Twins' everyday lineup to just 1 unearned run. That's a really, really impressive feat considering it really was basically the Twins' opening day lineup. Priester in the backfields did give up 1 home run, but outside of that, he did dominate Rays A-ball pitchers. To me, actions may be speaking louder than words, right? Right now, we don't have a ton to go off of in terms of actual reports, so we kind of got to look at how the Red Sox are going about utilizing these guys in the last couple of days. Newcomb starting with the Major League team and Priester starting with the minor league team may be an indication of which way the Red Sox are going. It also may not be. Because if you look at who followed Quinn Priester in that minor league game, you had Justin Wilson, Greg Weissert, and Zach Kelly. Now, all 3 of those guys probably aren't starting the year in minor league baseball, right? In all reality, I would guess possibly 2 out of the 3 of those guys, maybe even 3 of the 3 of those guys are going to be on your major league club. So that also could totally negate the fact that there's any indication here that Quinn Priester starting in minor league baseball, whereas Sean Newcomb starting in Major League Baseball says something about where the Red Sox are staying, but I still think it's something to at least pay attention to because right now it's kind of all we have to go off of. Comparatively, if we're talking about statistics here, Sean Newcomb kind of wipes the floor with Quinn Priester even before Quinn Priester's rough start. Now, this is just facing big league teams. Unfortunately, we don't get data for when they face minor league teams like Quinn Priester did yesterday, but Newcomb so far has just 1 earned run, 14 1/3 innings with 13 strikeouts and only 3 walks. Quinn Priester has allowed 5 earned runs in 9 1/3 innings, striking out 9 and walking 7. But in all fairness to Quinn Priester, like Richard Fitts, for the most part this spring he's looked really good. It was really one bad start that really sort of tanked his statistics a little bit. In that one start, he allowed 3 of those earned runs and 3 of those walks. So you take that out of it and he ends up looking really good, but it's tough to take one start out of just 5, right? It's tough to say, oh, if we could just forget 20% of what he did this spring training, he's looked really good. Whereas Sean Newcomb has looked really good this entire spring training. If you asked me 2 weeks ago who would end up being this 5th rotation spot, I would say it's Quinn Priester by a mile, right? I would say, I said it. It's not even if I was asked, and I said it has to be Quinn Priester because of what he looked like coming into camp. Now, I think the conversation's different. I think if you were to ask me today where the Red Sox are going to end up with this starting rotation, I think the answer is Sean Newcomb. I think Sean Newcomb has done everything he possibly can to make himself a legitimate option for the Red Sox coming into the regular season. The questions surrounding him were sort of, okay, can this guy stretch it out to be, hey, be a 5 and dive number 5 guy here until we get Gio and Bayo back? And yesterday he did exactly that. 4 2/3 innings, 1 unearned run. He looked really good. That kind of points me in the direction of Sean Newcomb being the Red Sox number 5 starter. But there is sort of one big wrench in this idea. The big wrench in this idea is sort of the roster manipulation that comes with Sean Newcomb. With Quinn Priester, if you were to put him on this major league team, again, looking at the fact that both Bayo and Giolito are making good strides to come back pretty quickly here, if he only makes it 1 or 2 starts, you could just option him down to AAA baseball, and that's where he'll remain until he's needed again at the major league level. Sean Newcomb, it's a little bit of a different story. You are going to have to DFA him if you want to send him down to AAA, and obviously that comes with risk, especially with a left-handed pitcher specifically, but a guy in general who's done really good this spring training. And depending on how he does at the major league level, if you have to DFA him, there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to end up losing him on the waiver wire. The only real option for the Red Sox here, if they wanted to keep him, would be to transition him into a long relief role in the bullpen, and that could potentially mean having 3 lefties in the bullpen, which may not be something the Red Sox are incredibly inclined to do. So that's sort of the big wrench in all of this. Is that going to end up being the deciding factor for the Red Sox coming into the regular season, right? If they look at it and they say, okay, Giolito, like I mentioned, which is why I mentioned it, is out there already doing long toss. Brian Bayo's already throwing 4 or 5 innings on almost 100% effort here. Both of these guys are only going to miss 1 or 2 starts this season. Is it worth bringing up Sean Newcomb already to the point where you end up losing him in mid-April as opposed to, hey, we need you in June or July for 3 or 4 weeks here. You need to be able to get us to the trade deadline or get us into the playoffs, right? Those are 2 big differences. Obviously, April games can't win you a division, but they certainly can lose you a division. So I don't know, right? This is a tough situation for the Red Sox to be in, and I do think it's a good situation for the Red Sox to be in. The fact that they have 4 legitimate options to take over injury-prone spots in your rotation is absolutely incredible. Last year, we didn't have this conversation, right? It was just simply Josh Winkowski or Cooper Criswell, and that was kind of it. Richard Fitz was too far away. Quinn Priester wasn't acquired till the deadline. These are guys that can make a legitimate impact on the major league team, and these are your, 7th, 8th, and 9th type starters. The Red Sox are in a really good place with this rotation right now, and this is just a key example as to why. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to make a decision. With Mexico in 48 to 72 hours, the Red Sox are going to have to decide here. Are they going to go with Quinn Priester because it's safe, because it allows them the opportunity to really sort of get this guy out there? Maybe he's all right, a 4.6, 4.7 ERA in 2 starts, and then you bring him back down to AAA and he continues to work on what he needs to work on? Or do they kind of risk it and go with Sean Newcomb? Hope that this guy who's done really well in spring training has something figured out to the point where he's going to give you a 2 or a 3 ERA in a couple of starts and then take the risk or move him to the bullpen. In my opinion, I still think the Red Sox take the risk. If they are truly in win now mode, I think Sean Newcomb right now is the answer to trying to win games right out of the gate, which is something, again, I never thought I would say. So this is going to be a really interesting choice for the Red Sox, and we should get our answer in the next couple of days. But before that happens, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about this Red Sox roster battle? Who would you put in that 5 spot? And is it the same rotation I have? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.